Hey YouTube fans, Larry Vickers here, and welcome to the Vickers Tactical YouTube channel. I have Alan Brown. Thanks for joining us, Alan.
Good to meet you.
He's with High Caliber Sales. Now, I asked Alan here because, in my opinion, High Caliber Sales offers some historically significant small arms, and I wanted him to tell a little bit of the story behind them and how it came to be. Alan is a former employee, retired,
Yes.
from Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane in Crane, Indiana. And they build and actually in many ways manage a lot of the small arms projects for not only the Navy SEAL community, but also SOCOM in general.
Yeah.
And you guys at the High Caliber really kind of specialize in some of the classic guns that have been used in the War on Terror,
Right.
such as the Mark 12, Mark 13, and the Mark 18, correct?
Correct.
And then you've actually went, because of your history behind a lot of these guns, you've sourced a lot of the exact same components and configure them in such a way where they're not just a clone, they're the closest thing you can get to an actual Mark
Correct.
12, Mark 13,
Yeah.
Mark 18.
We build the upper receivers when we do the Mark 13 conversion. It's all built on customer supplied receivers.
Okay.
So the customer supplies the receiver. A lot of times we just sell like the Mark 12, the Mark 18, just the uppers only. If the customer wants to have a totally correct gun with the two-stage trigger, ambidextrous safety and everything, they can send us a receiver and we can do that.
And you can, from ground zero
From ground
all
zero
the way up.
Just all we need is a receiver if
Good
they
deal.
want the full thing.
Now, you've got a lot of time with the Mark 12. I mean, you were involved with it from day one.
From day
right?
one, and it started out originally to be just an upper only, and that's what the SPR stood for, Special Purpose Receiver. Well, at that time, Naval Special Warfare people weren't allowed. It was a red part on the trigger. We decided we've got all these receivers, we'll just build a full-up gun, and that's what we did. Supplied receiver and everything. So the Mark 12s went out the door as a full-up system, including scope, suppressor. Scopes, the last time I counted, there's seven different flavors of scopes that would have been used on those guns.
Wow.
Now what you see here is a Mod 1. The original Mod 0 wasn't quite as durable and weighed a full pound more.
Right.
So we cut some fat out and made it a little more reliable gun.
Now, are you
with
able
the
to
Mod
source
1.
the optics too?
Yes. High Caliber Sales is a dealer for Night Force. You can't get this one anymore. They went to the 32.
Right.
And the 32 was used. It's still on the government contract, so it would be a proper
Just
one.
legit.
Too. Yeah.
Good deal. Now, one of the things we talked about, and we've actually covered it on some of our shows before in the past, is what really is the magic behind this gun is the ammo.
Yes. There's two things on this gun, is the barrel and the ammo.
And for the record, Black Hills Mark 262,
Right.
the 77 grain Sierra
Match
Hotel
game.
Hollow Point,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that stuff has done great work
Yeah,
overseas.
and it's used in more than just the Mark 12. When it was originally sourced, it was strictly a Mark 12. The guys got to using it, and everybody wanted it. I mean, the guys they could trade for anything they wanted.
Yeah, I've heard
You know.
I've heard fantastic things about that
Yeah,
stuff.
and another thing about the Mark 262, you know from past experience, the snipers they would get a lot of ammo that worked in their gun, and they would hoard it, swap around wherever. The Mark 262, the way it was loaded from Black Hills, they loaded to a pressure. And so every new lot of powder come in, it was tested, it was loaded to the pressure, so lot-to-lot variances are nothing. I mean, it doesn't make, you could mix ammo from 3 lots and it would still hold. And Black Hills did nothing, but it kept getting better and better.
Yeah, that stuff has a phenomenal reputation.
Oh, yeah.
For good reason. Okay, let's switch, if you don't mind, Alan, to this gun, the Mark 13. A lot of people probably don't know a lot about this platform.
Okay, it came out of a couple of different things. We had been building it was just called the 300 Win Mag. It was a Macmillan stocked, no suppressor, had a 16 power Leopold Mark IV on it. You know, a normal build was 15 or 20 guns a year. When it went to full-blown SOCOM support, we were talking about several thousand guns a year. And also a little more durability. The guys want detachable mags, they wanted folding stocks. And this Action International chassis system gave them pretty much what they were looking for at the time. And it cut our build time down
Dramatically.
a bunch, yeah.
Now, Mark 18.
Right.
You take me through it?
Okay. The Mark 18 come from requirement. Originally, it was just a 10-inch upper for the SEALs. It was more of a shipboarding weapon. It was just an upper receiver that went along with their M4. The requirement on it was it had to go through a ship passageway sideways. That was the only requirement they gave us. At this time, they were using MP5s, and if you ever shot a 9mm bullet in the metal room, it's like inside of a pinball machine. That thing goes everywhere. The 855 wasn't as bad, and of course a lot more lethal. And then they moved on to some other ammo that reduces penetration and ricochet. The Mark 18 didn't come about until what we called external customers, with the Blue Water Navy. They had requirements for shipboard protection, and like that idea, they saw the SEALs running through there. So that's when the Mark 18 came about, and that was a full-up gun, just like you're holding there. The one you're holding there is actually a Mod 1 with the Daniel Defense rail on it. The main difference between the Mod 1 and the Mod 0 is the Mod 0 had the Knights rail on it. Other than, and it still had the A-frame and front side on it, yeah. Used the regular QD suppressor off their M4.
And all these guns are still actually in service, being used to this day.
Yes.
And I've seen a lot of action overseas.
Yes.
Good deal.
Yeah, the guys really like them. Everybody says, oh my gosh, that short barrel, it doesn't have any lethality. It takes about 100 meters off the far end of your effective range. I mean, we had guys in operational testing that were banging 400-yard E-type silhouettes with no problem at all.
Good deal.
You know, and the lethality was still there.
Well, we talked about it off camera before we got up here. Is a lot of different people make custom AR style setups or even custom bolt guns, but the thing that makes you guys different is the history behind it.
Right.
Your personal involvement in the development of the platforms, and knowing what goes into them, and the ability to make them historically correct.
Right. We source everything from the original manufacturer. The only thing that we had to go outside was the gas block, this low-profile gas block, because that was made in-house at Crane. We had some people that come up with a really close approximation, and it works fine. Other than that,
it's the same.
It's the same. And we have built them where the guy furnished his own M16 receiver, and the only way you couldn't tell it was a government was by the serial number.
Yeah.
And there's so many variations in this. When we first started building this is the old original M16 solid rubber buttstock. The guys like this because this is the shortest M16 stock. Well, when we're running out of these, and we scrounged and scrounged, you know, we had to go to the A1, which is a little longer than this, but still shorter, and then finally, it was all A2s. Pistol grips the same way. We went through several pistol grips and ended up just going with the standard GI pistol grip. You know, and early on, some of the people had, oh, you need to try this G-Wiz bolt carrier, this G-Wiz coating and everything, and we'd try them. But everything in that little receiver is GI, the bolt carrier's GI, except for the trigger and the selector, that we did use aftermarket there.
Good deal. Well, Alan, I want to thank you for coming. I'm a big history buff, and like the fans of my shows know, really big into the history of military-style small arms. So I want to invite you down. Thank you for coming and showing us what High Caliber's bringing to the table, brother. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed it.